up, y'all? Welcome to Sabrina Talks. I'm Sabrina if you're new. If you're not, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Now today in Sabrina Talks, of course, you already know what time it is. We are going to be talking about the 2021 Grammys that just recently aired. I don't know if y'all watched it, but I watched it because I wanted to see what kind of nonsense was going to ensue and how they were going to do this whole thing because, you know, COVID and all of that jazz. I'm glad they didn't do a fully virtual one because that would have been a mess. But the way they did it, I think, is okay, but we'll get into that later. I really want to kick it off. We'll talk about the awards, we'll talk about the performances. I also just talk about my general opinion on how the awards went this year. So let's kick it off right into Record of the Year because that's something I really want to talk about. So as a refresher, these songs got nominated for Record of the Year. It was Black Parade, Colors, Rockstar, Say So, Everything I Wanted, Don't Start Now, Circles, and Savage. Obviously, Billie Eilish won for Everything I Wanted, and I was confused when I first heard it because I was like, huh? As I said on Twitter while I was live tweeting the Grammy Awards show, which by the way you should follow me on Twitter, I truly love Billie. I think she's so talented. But for her to win one of the big categories for this year, I think was misplaced. She could have won an award for that song in a different category, but for Record of the Year, I don't think that was for her. I think Say So, the Savage remix, and Don't Start Now was really the biggest contenders of that category because they are the ones that really kind of took over the world. I was personally rooting for like Say So because previously Doja was not winning any of the other awards that she was nominated for, and Dua already won an award for Future Nostalgia. So I was like, all right, well, this is their time to shine for Doja, and it just didn't happen. And then Billie added to this new coming trend that white people are doing whenever they win an award. They use their speech to talk about how somebody else, who usually is a person of color, more deserves this award. And it's sweet. I see the, you know, the genuine, like, nice intention behind it, but I think it's a bit like a spectacle. You know, Adele did it with Beyonce that one year. I think Macklemore did it with Kendrick. It's just like a trend that's starting, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think the best approach is literally be like, here, I'm not accepting this award, I'm gonna give it to so-and-so. You know, if you really want to cause a spectacle, that could be the spectacle. You could be like, I'm not taking this award, I'm giving it to so-and-so and have them come up. That could be really, you know, a show, but no one's gonna do that. So to me, it's a little performative, but that's just me. Let's go to the other big category, which is Album of the Year. The albums that got nominated were Chilombo, Black Puma's Deluxe Edition, Hollywood's Bleeding, Future Nostalgia, Folklore, Jessie Volume 3, and Women in Music Part 3 by h.e.r. Who ended up winning was Folklore by Taylor Swift, which I wasn't too surprised about. I had a strong feeling Folklore was going to win this category because she wasn't winning any of her other categories, and I knew for a fact that Grammys were not about to snub her and not give her any of her awards. So I knew it had to be this one. I was hoping for like Future Nostalgia because, you know, that's my favorite album of 2020, but Folklore was an amazing album. I think all of her other albums that won Album of the Year were great, but I think Folklore really, really deserves it. I think that's mainly just because I really like folk Taylor, so I'm kind of biased in that aspect. I'm really happy that she won this one because out of the rest of the categories, I think this one is definitely the most fitting for the album. Also, Taylor Swift made some history because this is her third album to win Album of the Year. Moving on to Song of the Year, the songs that were nominated were Black Parade, The Box, Cardigan, Circles, Don't Start Now, Everything I Wanted, If the World Was Ending, and I Can't Breathe. Now, I Can't Breathe ended up being the one that won, which confused me, mainly because I actually haven't heard this song. This song, I believe, came out around the time all of the George Floyd protests was happening and the Black Lives Matters movement was like really thriving. I didn't want to listen to it because I knew it was going to be like a protest song, and at that time period, I just was not in the mood to hear any of that. So I never listened to this song. So when they announced her, I was like, okay, but I'm happy for her because I love her and she's extremely talented. But I was just really confused. But knowing that Song of the Year is a songwriters award, so it's really based on the lyrics of the song and like how the song's composed and all of that, I think it's deserving because this song, from what I've heard and like the lyrics that I've seen is actually very meaningful. But like I said, I'm happy for her. This is her 4th Grammy Award because she won another one earlier in the ceremonies. The only other song I would have envisioned maybe winning this category was probably Everything I Wanted. I really thought this might have been the category Billie would have won instead of Record of the Year. But the last award out of like the big main general field categories is Best New Artist, and the artists who were nominated for that were Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Chica, Noah Cyrus, D Smoke, Kick Tronada, Ingrid Address, and Phoebe Bridgers. Now, Megan Thee Stallion won this award, which is somebody who I predicted would win this award. If you haven't seen my video where I talked about the Grammy nominations and who I thought was going to win, I'll have it linked up there and like in my description. You can watch the full video to see all of my predictions and thoughts on the Grammy nominations. But in that video, I was definitely talking about how either Doja or Megan was going to win this award. Everybody else on this list were also really successful this year, but I really think also Kate Tronada is also just not generally a new artist, but whatever. I genuinely thought the battle was going to be between Megan and Doja. Megan obviously ended up winning, which I think is fair. Regarding the time frame of when the Grammys, you know, considered their nominations, Megan had more of a year than Doja did because she had more like songs that were released, whereas Doja just kind of had the longevity of her Hot Pink album just kind of lingering around. So I kind of knew it was going to go to Megan. The way she couldn't even speak in the first parts of her speech was really cute, and I was near tearing up because I know for someone like her, like she really appreciates all of these awards. So I'm happy for her. I'm glad that she got it. Moving on to Best Pop Solo Performance, the nominations were Yummy, Say So, Everything I Wanted, Cardigan, Watermelon Sugar, and Don't Start Now. Now this was a hot category. Like there was so much in this category that really could have won, except for Yummy. Yummy had no chance of winning. I'm sorry. It shouldn't have even been nominated, but not my business. I predicted either Watermelon Sugar was gonna win or Say So or like Don't Start Now because all of those were really, really big. And of course, Watermelon Sugar won, which I was just so happy. Mainly because it's Harry's first Grammy and I'm just happy for him and I'm proud for him. In my predictions, I was really adamant that if Harry was to win a Grammy, it would most likely be this category. Even though Say So and Don't Start Now were also in this category, I personally thought that Say So and Don't Start Now would win some of the bigger categories, so they would give this to Harry. And they did give it to Harry. They didn't really do anything for Doja and kind of got it for Dua. But regardless, I was kind of right in that they was going to give Harry an award. It was definitely going to be this one. The next award I want to talk about is Best Pop Duo Group Performance. Now, the nominations for this one was Una Dia that had Bad Bunny, Dua Lipa, and J Balvin in it. Then it was Intentions with Justin Bieber and Quavo. It was BTS's Dynamite. It was Rain On Me with Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga. And it was also Exile with Bon Iver and Taylor Swift. Now this was an award I was confident that BTS was going to win because it was their only nomination and because it's BTS. But of course they didn't win because the Grammys is racist, and the award actually went to Rain On Me with Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande. Now, I do love Rain On Me and I love Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga, but I don't know if I would have gave the Grammy to this song. Knowing how the Grammys treat BTS, I would have thought maybe they would have just gave this award to Taylor Swift with Exile, but I'm surprised they gave it to Lady Gaga with Rain On Me. That might have just been like a, we're not gonna give Chromatica anything else, so we're just gonna give you this one for Rain On Me, just to acknowledge Chromatica, but I don't know. Either way, I'm happy for Ariana Grande because this is her second Grammy. Though she's had like 12 nominations, this is somehow her second Grammy. And this is, I think, Lady Gaga's like 12th Grammy. So, you know, happy for them either way. Moving on to Best Pop Vocal Album, we had Changes, we had Chromatica, we had Fine Line, Future Nostalgia, and Folklore. Now, Future Nostalgia ended up winning this award, which I wasn't too surprised about. I figured this is the award that she was going to win if she was to win any of her 6 nominations. So I'm glad it was for Future Nostalgia as a whole because that album is fantastic. Folklore and Future Nostalgia were definitely the 2 top contenders. Fine Line was a great option, but I knew they was not going to give Harry the best vocal album. I knew if they was going to give him a Grammy, it was going to give him for a song and not the whole album as a whole. I'm happy Dua got this. I'm sad this is her only award for the night because I think she deserved more. I mean, she did have 6 nominations, but regardless, I'm happy Future Nostalgia got something. Let's get into the rap and R&B categories. So for Best R&B Performance, we had nominations for Black Parade, Goat Head, Lightning and Thunder, All I Need, and See Me. Beyonce's Black Parade ended up winning, which gave Beyonce her 28th Grammy Award. Like, crazy. But it's Beyonce, of course she was gonna come in here and make some history, break some records, does what Beyonce does. I'm surprised that this is the solo award that they decided to give Beyonce. I for sure thought it would have been Black is King. The Savage remix won Best Rap Song against The Bigger Picture, The Box, Laugh Now Cry Later, and Rockstar. I'm not fully surprised that it won Best Rap Song because, like I said, the Savage remix really took over the world and it's just a great song. But what I thought was going to win was The Box because that also was a song that was literally taking over the planet. I'm surprised that that song didn't get any awards that night. Though I'm personally not in love with that song, I definitely think it deserves some accolades. Like, it was top of the charts for weeks, it was everywhere, and people loved it. So I'm surprised it didn't get any awards from the Grammys. But we all know how the Grammys be treating Black people and especially rap music. So I'm not too surprised that they didn't end up giving The Box anything. I want to talk about the performances that happened because that's usually the main attraction for me for the Grammys. Awards, I always know it's just going to be some nonsense. So I'm always just more looking forward to the general performances that happen. So let's talk about some of that. We opened the show up with h.e.r's performance, which I wasn't expecting, but I'm happy for him that he got this opening, performance. This performance was such a h.e.r performance to me. It was a little toned down than I think he usually be doing, but he had his chesticles out. He had a big scarf for God knows what reason. He had a bunch of like Black singers and performers in the background, which I enjoyed. He had a little dance break because it's h.e.r. Of course, he's going to have a little dance break. The only thing I have an issue with his performances, I'm mad at the fact that he only did Watermelon Sugar. I feel like he should have threw in another song in there, but I know they probably only allotted him the one song that he's nominated for and was like, all right, that's it. That's all you got. After h.e.r.'s performance was Billie and Phineas's performance with Everything I Wanted. They did a great job with that. I mean, it's Billie Eilish. She always sounds great live. I also really love the fact that they added the little car from the visualizer for that song. I think that was a nice touch. Right after that, we went to h.e.m. Now, I've never actually heard any of h.e.m.'s song. I've heard the song h.e.m. has with Taylor Swift, which I thought was a good song, but I knew they always were like heavily regarded by a bunch of people, and I actually quite enjoyed the performance, so I'm going to sit down and listen to all of their music like I've been meaning to for a while now. The Baby performed Rockstar, and I was absolutely here for this little like classical version of Rockstar. I honestly think that should be the preferred version. It was the Baby, so he performs the way he performs. I'm just really glad that he included that little touch to it because I think it was great. Dua performed and she absolutely bodied her performance. She initially came in and was just like singing to the microphone and singing Levitating, and I thought she was just gonna do like a I'm just gonna stand and sing at you, which I would have been fine with, but knowing Dua, I knew she was gonna whip out something, and sure enough, they did the Levitating remix, so the Baby came back out and performed with her. It gave her some time to do a little costume change, and she whipped into Don't Start Now and absolutely delivered. I mean, she had the body, she had the outfit, she had the dance break, she was killing it. She was definitely one of my favorite performances of the night. Silk Sonic, which is Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, also performed, which I'm so happy that they found a way to insert themselves into the Grammys because they are another one of my favorite performances of the night. They absolutely delivered. I absolutely need to be a part of some Silk Sonic concert whenever concerts happen again. Also, I need them to release the album. We're already in waiting. Taylor Swift performed, which I didn't even realize she was physically there, so I didn't think she was performing, but I'm glad that she did. I really love the mix of August, Willow, and Cardigan that she performed. I also really love the aesthetic that she was in. She had like the little cottage. It just looked very fairy tale like, which I enjoyed, and I think it fits, the folk album quite well. A performance that surprised me was Mickey Guyton. I think that's her name. She's a country singer and she's also a Black woman. And we don't get too much Black women country singers, so I was already here for her. But then she really started singing and I was like, oh, I'm absolutely here for her. So I'm gonna go look her up and see all of her music because I need to support her because she really blew me away. Megan and Cardi B's performance was top notch. I'm glad that they were both able to have their own little solo moments and then came together and did WAP. Now, I'm still kind of irritated that they did the censored version of WAP. I understand why they did it because it's television, but I'm like, the censored version just doesn't hit as well as the explicit version, but whatever. I love Megan's like 20s aesthetic for when she did her part of the song, and then I also think Cardi B really did really well. I'm surprised she was dancing so much, honestly. Like, they gave them budget for this performance. Doja Cat performed and reminded us that she is the performer Doja Cat, not just, you know, the artist Doja Cat. She is an actual performer. This girl has been singing Say So for literally a year and some change, and she has made every time she did Say So slightly different than the last, and I can't even count how much different iterations of Say So we've had. We've had like the Broadway like 20 style version, we had like the like heavy metal rock version, which was fantastic. I know people have their feelings about Doja, but what they cannot deny is this girl is a star. Also, I really loved how she was really singing today. Usually she'll be like kind of singing and like give you a little hint of her vocals, but she was like, no, this is the Grammys, I'm gonna let y'all hear my vocals because I am also a singer, not just a rapper. One of the last performances of the night was BTS. BTS absolutely dominated. I mean, it's BTS. They're not gonna really do much else but dominate and absolutely kill their performance. Now that I'm finished talking about what actually happened during the award ceremony, let me just talk about my general overall feelings. One, I got beef with the Recording Academy because how could they not give Chloe and Halle not a single award for the night? They had 3 nominations and they somehow decided not to give them any. I'm baffled. That is a crime against humanity because they deserved at least 2 of those nominations. Trevor Noah was the host for the night, and I think he really did a great job, and I think he was the best person to do it. He was funny, but not too cringy. It makes me sad that not much people saw it because the ratings were so terrible for the Grammys. Which, I mean, we're not surprised the ratings were terrible. But I wish he would have gotten a chance to be, you know, his great self with a bigger audience. But whatever, at the end of the day, I think most people liked him as the host. I don't think anybody really had any issues with him. So I give him an A+ for hosting. With the whole changes that they had to do to the award ceremony because of COVID and all that. One thing I did miss with the whole ceremony is the fact that we didn't get any like genre combining and genre bending performances like we usually do. Like the Grammy performances are usually consistent of like somebody from one genre and somebody else from another genre like combining and doing a song together, which I really enjoy because I think you get some really interesting performances. Like that one year, I think what Kendrick Lamar and Imagine Dragons combined, that was a great performance. I feel like we need to have a discussion on whether or not we really want to continue with the Grammys. Clearly, like I said, the ratings was terrible this year. No one was really watching it. Even before the Grammys even actually happened, it was all kind of controversies left and right. People had all kind of issues. They now have like an ethnic man as like the head of the Recording Academy, and he's trying his best to really, you know, get it out there that the Grammys are no longer racist and we no longer have the issue of who gets nominations and who gets decided who wins and all of that jazz. I will give it to him that he is very much trying, but the Recording Academy is an old institution. It's like the Oscars. We got some heavy lifting to do to try to fix it. So if we want to keep having the Grammys be something that is very much prestige and desirable, there's got to be some huge changes we got to start making. I think it's grimy the fact that R&B and rap and most of the like Latin and worldly nominations aren't aired. They really kind of focus on the pop and the big 4 categories, and then they'll sprinkle in some other ones. That is an issue in itself. As we've seen even before the Grammys actually happened, we had Zayn like over here saying F the Grammys because he also thinks that they are racist and are not transparent, and there's like secret societies and bribery all over the place as to who gets to end up actually getting these awards. So I feel like if they really want to change the public's perspective of the Grammys, they really got to be transparent. Even if it's detrimental to the Grammys, in order to change, I think that's something they very much need to do instead of trying to make little micro changes and hoping that's going to appease people, because it's not. It's like we either take away the prestige of the Grammys and no longer care about it, stop watching it, stop, you know, wishing and hoping for a Grammy for our faves, and like let it just die and maybe hope that sparks some change. Or we keep the prestige, keep watching it, keep rooting for people to get it, and just you know, really be adamant and persistent about making changes. I'm holding out hope that the Grammys can somehow manage to fix everything and really make it to what I think they were intended to be. But I'm not holding out too much hope because, you know, at the end of the day, society is still run by white men, and I don't think they're gonna, you know, give up their power too easily. So we'll just have to see what happens. That about wraps up my video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please go give it a like. Share this video with your friends so we can all talk about the Grammys. Let me know in the comments down below if you watched the Grammys this year, or did you just wait until the clips got released on social media. Let me know who were your biggest snubs and your biggest excitements for the night. Subscribe to my channel for more music and entertainment related content coming to you every Thursday. And as always, please remember to be safe, be smart, be kind, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.